guys, when I tell you everything about tonight's episode, particularly the elimination, like it was crazy. I didn't expect anything that happened tonight. I don't know how I feel about tonight's episode, but let's get into it, honey. Sierra and Nick. So Sierra and Nick have a conversation and they're just talking about like their couple and them having sex the night before and how they feel about each other. Sierra expresses how the game from last episode didn't make her feel very secure in their couple, and they made her wonder the kind of conversations he has with the new bombshell type of thing. And of course Nick is kind of taken aback by that, because in his mind he's like, they had a conversation talking about how they were both going to be open to exploring people as new people came into the villa, and they were not closed off, blah blah blah. So he kind of feels like blindsided with Sierra coming to him with this whole thing about, oh, she feels a type of way about him exploring new connections. And I feel like I kind of get both sides, because Nick's defense, he's like, we had this conversation, we know what we're doing here, we know that this is a game and everything, and we're not locked in, so like, why do you feel a type of way about me exploring a new connection and all that? Meanwhile, in Sierra's mind, it's like, okay, we've had sex now and everything, so clearly we like each other more than it was in the beginning when we said what we said about exploring new connections. Like, obviously we like each other more now, so there should be some sort of like what's the word, we're sure in a way exclusive in that sense, and like we've had sex now, so like it changes things, I feel like, is where she is coming from. But Nick isn't really having it. Sierra doesn't really like his reaction and thought process regarding it. He basically at the end of that conversation tells her that he's still exploring things, and he's not gonna lie, he has some sort of attraction to the new girl. So at the end of the night, Sierra is feeling a type of way, and she doesn't even cuddle him when they go to bed and everything. So Nick is just feels like he's in a weird spot, and in the next day he's even talking about it with Ace, like he didn't really like how she reacted regarding that whole situation, and in his mind it just feels like a red flag. And I'm just like, Sierra expecting Nick to be locked down this early on in the experience, I feel like it's had been a bit delulu. This is basically how he moved in the beginning when he came into this villa, how he even moved with you, and now you're expecting some sort of loyalty with him, when this is the same pattern. Like, Nick has always been this way, he has always been open to exploring things, and you think that because you are with him now he's going to change, or you're going to change him and he's now going to like automatically be closed off. Sierra ends up having a conversation with Chelley, and Chelley basically tells her, yeah, if it's telling you this, like, you don't close off yourself too. Like, I understand that your connection with him is strong, but don't close off yourself to explore people, because this guy is telling you that he's going to explore people as well. And I really like that Chelley opened her eyes to that and put her head back in the game, because it seemed like Sierra was kind of already falling a little bit more than Nick for him, and Chelley was able to like shake her out of that and like put her head back in the game, essentially. Chelley and Ace, not really much happened with them this episode. They just had regular conversations. They seem very happy in their couple as well. Maybe Nick, what's his name, Ace, is just a slow burner and I'm just not giving him a chance, but I just feel like deep down there's just something off about him and off about the way he's moving with Chelley that, I don't know, I just feel like it's weird, and I just feel like it's going to eventually come to light. Like, I just don't know, he just gives me a weird vibe, and it just gives me a vibe that if somebody else comes into the villa, he's going to move differently and not really putting an effort to Chelley. Even now that they are in a couple, comparing all the things, the extravagant things that he was doing before they were in a couple, and comparing it to now, he really hasn't done anything since they became a couple. So I don't know, Ace is just really, he's just a questionable character still in my opinion, but let's see. Jeremiah, Iris, and Adriana, I think that's her name. what's his name, Jeremiah basically comes clean with his, well, no, Iris first comes clean with her case with TJ to Jeremiah, and Jeremiah comes clean to Iris about his case with Adriana. They both are on the same page with, them being like a platonic thing and not really having that much of a connection with themselves, and obviously exploring other people and having more connections with other people, and they seem to be on the same page with that. They're giving best friends type of thing. And I don't know, I just feel like with Jeremiah, he, in my opinion, is moving the same way he moved with Huda, like getting so locked in quickly with Adriana, just like he did with Huda. And it's funny because the boys also clocked it with him. So I don't know if you guys are clocking that as well. I clocked it as well, and it's just very weird. And that's why I say, in as much as Huda, yes, was problematic in that relationship and she was toxic as well, she lashed out in ways that she shouldn't have and everything, I still feel like Jeremiah did, in a way, make her feel like, they should be closed off that early on. And I feel like he was doing the same thing with Adriana, and I'm so happy that I'm not crazy and the boys also clocked it. But the boys also could have clocked it, because I feel like Ace and Nick have a personal vendetta against Jeremiah, and they just see him as competition. And I feel like at the end of this episode, it was very clear with that. Austin and Amaya. Amaya clearly is getting the hint from Austin that, he's not feeling her, touchy-feely kind of nature, her personality, her saying babe and everything, and she's confiding with Olandria about how she's feeling about it. Like, she feels so weird about it. She feels like every guy in the villa has just not really clicked with her. They just always have a problem with her personality. And honestly, it breaks my heart to see that, because you can tell that Amaya is such a lover girl and she wears her heart on her sleeve. And I just really hate that these men are making her feel this way about herself. And I love that Olandria, basically told her, fuck all these guys, excuse my French, but don't give a shit about these guys. Be you at the end of the day. And if it is not meant to be with Austin, your actual person is going to come in here and love you for who you are, not complain about anything, and accept you for who you are. And I really love that Olandra gave her that advice. TJ and Iris obviously are exploring themselves as well. I think he expresses to Huda in this episode also, like, basically telling her that he's not really interested in pursuing things with her, and he has, a different connection with somebody else. And Huda is taken aback by this, and in my mind I'm like, Huda, it was so obvious that this guy was not really into you. Like, I keep trying to defend this girl in the way she reacts or says things sometimes, and she just be making me like want to shake her a bit, because she was genuinely confused as to why he said he didn't want to pursue things with her, and genuinely did not see it coming. And I'm like, girl, the whole of America, the whole world saw it coming. This guy was not that into you. Like, wake up and everything. And yeah, he made it very clear to her that he's not interested in pursuing things with her, and clearly has something better with Iris, and I think she got it. I think lastly, Pepperoni and Hannah, they also have normal conversations this episode as well, just talking about random stuff. And I think there was a point where they were talking about, life post, Love Island, and what their plans were going to be. And then Pepe makes this weird statement, or asks this weird question of like, oh, what if I don't like you then? Like, what would you do? And I'm like, what do you mean, what if you don't like her then? Like, I was so confused with him saying that. Nothing they said in that moment warranted that kind of question, and I feel like the question just kind of flew over Hannah's head. But in my mind I was like, that's so random to say. Like, what does that actually mean? Why are you even thinking about the possibility of you not liking her then? It was just so weird to me, and I don't know if you guys also caught on with that, but yeah, Pepe is a bit weird to me. And that question kind of confirmed it, in my opinion. Olandria and Taylor, still same old. They seem happy in their connection, even though I don't really see much of the connection. And even to the point that I think towards the end of the episode, Olandria actually does like a fruit tray kind of date for her, and Taylor basically saying to thank him for the things that he's been doing for her in the villa. And in my mind I'm like, what things has he done in the villa for her? okay, maybe that salsa thing that he organized with Ace in the beginning, and maybe the egg and toast breakfast that he does every morning for her. But like, what else? Either my girl Olandria is the Lulu, or the producers are not showing us enough of Olandria and Taylor for us to see all these things that what's his name, Taylor has been doing for her. Because I was so confused by that, especially with her saying to thank him for all he does. I'm like, what exactly has he done since he entered this villa for you? Okay, so finally, the main event of this episode, the elimination. They all get a text saying they should come to the fire pit, and there's basically going to be a double elimination. 3 girls and 3 boys are saved, plus the new bombshells. So the 3 boys that were saved are Ace, Nick, and Taylor. In my opinion, I do not know why Taylor was saved. I personally think Taylor should have gone home today, but I digress. Either Taylor or Austin, in my opinion, should have gone home. But Ace, Nick, and Taylor were saved. And then Austin, Pepperoni, and what's his name? Austin, Pepperoni, and who is the other person? Austin, Pepe, and Jeremiah. Austin, Pepe, and Jeremiah were the ones that were, vulnerable to be evicted today. And then for the girls, Olandria, Chelley, and Sierra were saved, and Huda, Iris, and Hannah were the ones that were up for eviction. If I was the one that was supposed to vote people to leave out of those vulnerable people, I would have picked Austin from the men and Hannah from the women. Austin, because I feel like Austin is just having a boy's vacation. Like, that boy has not come for love. He hasn't shown me anything to be like, oh, he needs to stay in that villa to explore more connections and everything. If anything, I feel like he's making life miserable for Amaya, and I don't know where his disgust or irritation for Amaya randomly came from, So I just feel like every other guy that was put up there had a chance, and Austin just needed to leave. But unfortunately, the boys did not think that, and guess who they voted off? That one actually gagged me. They voted off Jeremiah. I was shooketh. Not Jeremiah. And I feel like they did that because, like I said, Ace and Nick from the very beginning, I feel like they've seen Jeremiah as a threat. Even when they were policing him and Huda's relationship in the beginning. Yes, Huda and Jeremiah had a toxic relationship, but I just feel like Nick and Ace were too invested, in my opinion, in that relationship, and they did the same thing in this whole thing with him and Adriana. Yes, what they were saying was kind of valid with the way he was moving, how he was similar to him and Huda, but like, I just feel like they've always been gunning for Jeremiah, and they used this as an opportunity to get rid of him, and that was just very telling of them. And Taylor too, acting like a puppet that is being pulled with strings by them, also agreed to the voting and voted Jeremiah off essentially, which was just very annoying. For the ladies, Hannah was voted off, and I can see why Hannah was voted off. I personally was shocked that Huda was safe. I don't know why I expected her to be on the top 3, considering how America feels about her, but it seems like low-key Huda has some undercover supporters that really went in for her and showed themselves underground for her. So that was interesting to see, and I'm low-key happy that she was saved, because I do genuinely want her to have a redemption arc. She hasn't moved the best, I agree. Even though I like her, I agree that she hasn't moved the best in that villa, and I am really hoping that she has learned her lesson with all this, because there is no second chances with her. If she moves stupidly again, please, I will personally vote her off. But I'm just happy that they're giving her a second chance. Everybody deserves a second chance at the end of the day. And I'm not really surprised that Hannah got voted off, in my opinion. I love that Iris and Amaya are still there. I just feel like out of the 3 in the lineup, Hannah for me was maybe the potential one to leave, and I'm happy that the ladies voted that way. I'm satisfied with their votes. Hannah put on a show again, theatrics, when they voted her off, and I mean, I get it. She was probably hurt, because again, these are people that she has bonded with, these past couple of weeks, and genuinely saw as friends, and it must have been very gut-wrenching to see that, you know, these people that you considered your friends are voting you off. Jeremiah's one was really the one that hurt me, because in as much as I don't really like him as a person, I just feel like the boys did him dirty in that, my opinion, and Austin was the best candidate to have been voted off. And it just sucks that they didn't put their egos and pride aside and decided to just vote him off just based off what him being a threat to them, and maybe them allowing them to like pursue the new girl Adriana. That's what I think. Something else I forgot to speak on was Huda and Jeremiah's conversation or chat before he left the villa. I understand that again that was like them having their final closure, but I just feel like it's weird for Huda to even be saying that she still has feelings for him or she still cares about him and all that bullshit. That guy treated you the way he did, moved the way he did. You all had a very messy ending, and I just didn't like her like going in for a peck at the end. Like, just say what you wanted to say, okay, in the spirit of closure and in the spirit of, you know, farewells and everything. But I just feel like her going again to be like, well, let her kiss him on the cheek was just doing a bit too much for me. But I guess they needed to have that conversation, and you know, it was kind of sad to see Jeremiah leave the villa, and I just hope the very best for him. So yeah, but that's all I have to say. This was a very crazy, up and down, heart beating, and anxious feeling episode for me. I'm not really happy that Jeremiah left. I'm not too sad that Hannah left, but overall it was just a mixed episode for me. I kind of don't know how to feel, and I'll definitely love to hear you guys' thoughts as well. Do you think that the Islanders voted the right people to go? If you do, let me know in the comment section. If you don't, let me know in the comment section as well. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube, because I'm going to post this on YouTube, and follow me on TikTok and Instagram as well. And I will see you guys in my next review, which will be tomorrow, hopefully. Take care. Bye.